It's very nice to see you all here. A very good evening to you all. And as Prabhu said, I welcome you all for this session. So on behalf of ISKCON HPR Layout, I congratulate you all for joining this program. And I hope the reason for which you have joined this program is fulfilled. So before we begin, I would just like to know how many of you are students. You can just raise your hands just to get a rough idea what kind of audience we have.
Can you repeat once more the question? What did you say?
I just said how many of you are students? So students can raise their hands. Oh, quite a good number we have. Okay, thank you. You can lower your hands. 31 still going on. Okay. And how many of you are working? Okay, that's nice. Yeah. Good, quite a good ones. Okay, thank you everybody. So one question to all of you. What made you enroll for these sessions? A quick answer. You can raise your hand so that I can call out your names. We'll take first 10 people. And who are not tech savvy, you can open up and you can respond without raising your hands. That's okay. Yeah. Yes, Hiteshi. You can unmute yourself and speak. For gaining knowledge.
To have a greater insight in life and the situations we face daily. That was my agenda, to know more about life. That's all.
Okay. Yeah, Praveen Kumar. As soon as you speak, you can lower your hands. Can't able to hear your voice. Is my voice very low? You're not able to hear?
You're good, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Rupashri is not able to hear. Please check your connection, ma. Yeah, fine. So quick answer. Okay, what made you? Some of them have said for peace. Yes. Maitri.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
I would like to know about Krishna and his achievements, his knowledge. I have to get to know that. And the peace we get from Bhagavad Gita is not only a small thing. So, yeah.
Okay, you want to know more about Krishna. Okay.
Yes.
Bharti.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
I've been reading Bhagavad Gita off and on, and recently I've started reading verse by verse. But reading by oneself is one thing, and listening from learned people is another thing. So I've joined this course to have a better perspective, because you live your life with Bhagavad Gita and teachings of Lord Krishna. So I'm sure joining this course will help me enhance my understanding of Bhagavad Gita.
Oh, very nice. Thank you. Yeah, Sudhir.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Um, I'm a Telugu person. I don't know English better.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Here, I do chanting daily and I love Krishna.
Okay.
I don't know everything about Krishna, but I love him. Without knowing him, I want to see how much love coming out for him out inside me. So,
Mm-hmm.
to what is it?
Okay, no issues. Apart from this, is there any other reason? Anybody who differs or who wants to add something more?
Mataji, there are some comments in the section. It says, I want to know about my roots and life lessons, to get
Mm-hmm.
devotional knowledge, to find solution of every problem. What exactly is Bhagavad, and how does it relate to current generation? So these are a couple of answers.
Okay, that's nice. So thank you everybody for your inputs. That's really nice of you for sharing. So you see, there are a lot of reasons for which we have come over here, right? Each one of you might be having some or the other reason. So let us see if you get answers to these. First of all, we would like to thank Srila Prabhupada. We dedicate this session to Srila Prabhupada, who is the founder Acharya of ISKCON. It's because of him that we are here discussing Bhagavad Gita, and we'll be gaining some knowledge through his vision. Prabhu, would you like to share the slides?
Yes, Mataji.
Do you have? Yeah. So first we offer our obeisances. We pray to Srila Prabhupada, the Guru Parampara, to Lord Krishna as well, so that we are in the right mood and with the right thought process. With their mercy, we'll try to understand about Bhagavad Gita. So I'll just read out the pranama mantras. You can hear, and from tomorrow you all can also repeat the mantra after me. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin iti namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So you see, we are all here trying to understand Bhagavad Gita. So first of all, we should know who are you and why are you here? What is missing in your life? So see, each one of us is trying to look out for some answer for which you all have enrolled. You all are trying to know something different, right? So who are we? Can anybody tell who you are? Any one person?
We are soul.
Yeah. So people who have already read or have the little bit of knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, you know that you are soul, you are not body. So here see in this shloka what Krishna says, that which pervades the entire body you should know to be indestructible. No one is able to destroy that imperishable soul. So it just means that you are the Atma within, and the body is just an instrument for the Atma to work. And Atma is not destroyable. Oh, it's just a minute. Yeah. So let us go step by step in trying to understand. Let's see if you all get your answers by the end. If you get your answers, you should be with us for the upcoming sessions. And those who do not get your answers should also stay with us till you find your answers. There will be a question and answer session in the end. So please stay back, whoever wants to clarify on their doubts. So you see, why Gita? The question. To get all these answers, what is the real purpose of Gita? Is it important for me? Why only Gita we are supposed to study? From whom should we hear or learn? In what mood we should study and how to apply? These questions also do come to many of us, right? And then we may also think, is Gita relevant for us today? Because it was spoken long ago and it was spoken to Arjuna for some reason. So how relevant is it for us? How relevant is it for us today? 5,000 years ago it was spoken. So is it authentic now also? So we should know. So let us first understand what is Bhagavad Gita. So Gita is the song of God. It's called Bhagavat, means related to God. And this song means it is sung or told by the Supreme Lord Krishna himself. It was spoken to several people before, through the ages. It's a timeless knowledge. So basically, it is a knowledge meant for the humankind. It is called one of the Upanishads, named as Gita Upanishad. So it's meant for the entire mankind. It's a user manual. Like you get, whenever you go out to buy a machine, you get a manual with it, which tells you how to use, what is its purpose, right? How to operate it, and how you can make the best use of it. So Bhagavad Gita is a user manual for our human body. Just now you said we are soul, we are not body. And the soul should know how to utilize this body. So Bhagavad Gita comes as a manual for every human, so that with this knowledge, equipped with this knowledge, you can utilize your body to the best of your ability to reach the higher purpose of life. And this is highly worshipable, sacred, revered source. This book is not an ordinary, because it gives you the spiritual knowledge. So basically, we all know that it is a conversation between Krishna and Arjuna. It was spoken 5,000 years ago on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, when Arjuna was refusing to fight and he was in a big turmoil, in a big confusion. He wanted to actually leave the battlefield. At that moment, Krishna gives him this knowledge so that Arjuna is able to decide for himself what is right and what is wrong, to take a rightful decision. So Bhagavad Gita is actually a part of the Bhishma Parva in the Mahabharata. What is the message of Mahabharata? The message is, if you are on the right path, then in spite of facing the hardships, you should keep your faith strong on the Supreme Lord. Just like Arjuna kept his faith on Krishna, all the Pandavas kept their faith on Krishna. So then you will come out as a winner. So everything that is needed to live a peaceful life is given here in this book. So basically there are 4 speakers, Krishna, Arjuna, Sanjaya and Dhritarashtra. Most of the stuff is spoken by Krishna and Arjuna, just a few by Sanjaya, and only 1 shloka is by Dhritarashtra. So in general, the whole book has 700 verses with 18 chapters and 3 sections with 5 main topics in it. So it is written by Ved Vyas, the literary incarnation of Krishna, and Lord Ganesha. So Ved Vyas actually recites it and Ganesha pens it down. So is it relevant now? So let us understand. The time when Gita was spoken to Arjuna was on the battlefield. And that was the time when Arjuna actually was waiting for 13 years to get hold of his kingdom, to actually face the Kauravas and get the kingdom back. And when the time arrived, when they were there to fight, Arjuna is suddenly backing out. He's perplexed. He forgot his purpose, why he was standing there as a warrior. You know, in the battlefield, the conches were blown. The fight was about to begin, and yet he is not ready. So the conflict Arjuna was facing here was between his Kshatriya Dharma and Kula Dharma. So he is a born Kshatriya, right? And he's a very powerful man. He knows how to use the weapons. So there is no need for him to avoid the fight. But then what was stopping him? Because he was now confused between his 2 dharmas. One is being a Kshatriya, he should fight for his rights, for the protection of his people, for dharma. And the other one was towards his family, towards his kula. So similar situations all of us also face in life. Don't you think? We all have some or the other confusion. There are situations where you are forced to decide between, to make a choice whether I should do what is right or should I support my family. Similar situation to what Arjuna has faced. So each one of us is fighting an inner battle. Almost every day, one or the other person, you come across might be in such confusion, fighting with his own conscience as to what to do. So Bhagavad Gita prepares us for this inner battle. It actually helps us to take the right decision. It removes the confusion. It helps us to come out of the anxieties in life. It strengthens us to handle tough situations. And it is the best self-help book. Why? Because it's spiritual, right? It teaches you about your soul, not the material things. A question may arise, is it outdated now? Well, no. Gita has principles which are applicable to everyone. Just as the gravitational force acts on every one of us, right? It is a universal law and it is meant for all. Whichever country you belong, whether you are small, you are big, you are rich, you are poor, doesn't matter. So just like this law is universal, the principles of Gita are also universally applicable to all the humans. So it gives the right direction to our thought process, removes the confusion, and actually it's a message of love from Krishna. Now you might think, why Bhagavad Gita only? No, suddenly everybody is talking about Gita, Gita, Gita. We have so many scriptures. In Hinduism, being citizens of India, all of us know that there are so many scriptures, there are Vedas, there are Upanishads. Then why Bhagavad Gita is so, so, so important? Why the more focus is put on Gita only? So we have 4 Vedas, we have 108 Upanishads, 18 Puranas, 2 Itihasas, and several Samhitas, out of which Brahma Samhita most of us have heard about. So why only Gita? So one should know this, right? One should know the purpose of Gita. Only then, whatever you are going to study or hear in the coming days is going to be of some relevance to you. Understanding Gita becomes meaningful and attractive if you are inspired by it. So let us first understand why Gita is so important. In Padma Puran, goddess Parvati actually asks Shiva, she requests him, tell me about Gita Mahima. And Shiva tells a story after each chapter. No, he explains to her in great detail and then concludes. He says Bhagavad Gita can make our life great, Mahan. So this shows that even demigods have interest in this. They also have ruchi in Bhagavad Gita. And there are several saints like Adi Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, who have all vouched for Bhagavad Gita. All of them have given commentaries on it. Actually, Shankaracharya has even written Gita Dhyanam, in which he talks about Gita. What he says, I'll just give you the translation of that. He says, that which was taught to Arjuna by Lord Narayana himself, which was written by the epic sage Vyasa in the middle of Mahabharata. O Mother Goddess, who showers the nectar of Advaita called the Bhagavad Gita, which has 18 chapters, I meditate on you, Mother, who removes all past karma. So this is how Shankaracharya glorified Bhagavad Gita. So Gita Dhyanam is nothing but the shlokas he wrote, which are meditated upon or recited before the beginning of reading Bhagavad Gita. So the 9 verses mentioned in this are actually salutations to a variety of sacred scriptures. Yeah. So Shankaracharya also wrote Gita Mahatmya, in which he writes 7 verses. Actually, that also is glorifying Bhagavad Gita. So he actually says, Maline Mochanam Pumsam, Jalasnanam Dine Dine, Sakrit Gitamrita Snanam, Samsara Malanashanam. So which means one may cleanse himself daily by taking a bath in water. But if one takes a bath even once in the sacred Ganges water of Bhagavad Gita, for him the dirt of material life is altogether vanquished. So he says it's very, very important to read Bhagavad Gita, which cleanses your heart. No, taking bath cleanses your physical body, but Gita cleanses your soul. Then he also says, Gita Sugita Kartavya Kim Anye Shastra Vistarahi. Actually, one need only attentively and regularly hear the Bhagavad Gita. So he says that in the present age, people are so absorbed in mundane activities that it is not possible for them to read Vedic literatures. So he says it's not necessary to read the Vedic literatures, just this one book. Just this one Bhagavad Gita is sufficient because it is the essence of all the Vedic literatures. So see how important Gita is? And why it is? Because it is talking about the Supreme Lord Krishna. And who is Krishna? So here again Shankaracharya says, Ekam Shastram Devaki Putra Gitam Eko Devo Devaki Putra Eva Eko Mantras Tasya Namani Yani Karmapyekam Tasya Devasya Seva. So he says, if at all you have to read any holy scripture, then the divine Gita sung by the Lord Krishna, who is the only worshipable Lord. And if at all there is any mantra, then only one that has his holy names. And if at all there is any one duty, then it is performing devotional service unto this Supreme Lord Krishna. So again he is telling that there is only one God, that is Krishna. And if at all we have to do any service, then it should be towards the Supreme Lord. So see how Bhagavad Gita has been glorified. And great people, many of them have also glorified. We all know about Mahatma Gandhi. Even Einstein has been reported to having read Bhagavad Gita. So there are many, many people who have been benefited by it, and everybody has vouched for it. Now there's one more special reason. In Kali Yuga, we are all now in Kali Yuga, whereas Gita was spoken in Dwapar Yuga. So why in Kali Yuga the focus is mostly on Bhagavad Gita? This Yuga is the Yuga of quarrel and hypocrisy. Because mankind in this Yuga is blessed with many, many wonderful qualities. You know, what are those qualities? Mandamati means less memory. Alpayush, reduced lifespan. Mandabuddhi, lacking intelligence. And Mandabhagya is highly unfortunate. Now, why unfortunate? Because there are no teachings of the scriptures. The present generation calls it mythology. So we are very, very unfortunate. By the time you come to Kali Yuga, all these qualities have dawned upon the human race. And if you have to sit and read the Vedas, the Shastras, which are so huge, so vast, one lifetime is not sufficient. And then there is one more quality. What is that? Upadrita. So the mankind is very disturbed, agitated, no peace. We are active materially, but we are very, very slow on the spiritual path. Right? So that's why Gita has been told to be very important for this Kali Yuga. So it actually tells you the practical way of living your life. So see what this shloka says. Gita Shastram Idam Punyam Yah Pathet Prayatat Puman Vishnu Padam Avapnoti Bhaya Sokadi Varjitaha. So when a person reads, recites, or studies with proper attention this auspicious Shastra, Bhagavad Gita, he will attain the feet of Sri Vishnu and will become free from worries and all other problems. This is quoted from Padma Puran. So you see, even if you don't understand it properly, it's okay. You can just recite. You can hear somebody reading. You can hear people who are commenting on Gita. Just the shlokas also, if you are hearing, they are all very auspicious. They bring auspiciousness into your life. Such is the importance. So see the last shloka, one more thing. It says, let a man read but a little from Gita. Drink just a drop of water from the Ganges. worship Murari, Govinda, just once. He then will have no altercation with Yama. So Yamraj is shooed away from you if you read Bhagavad Gita. So even if little, so you might think, maybe I don't have time to finish the whole book, I can't read completely. It's all right. How much ever you can take it, how much ever you can read, do it. Because even a small drop of water from the Ganges is sufficient to purify you. So similarly, a small part of understanding from the Gita is also sufficient to purify you. It will help you. For a self-controlled person who seriously studies this Bhagavad Gita scripture, not a trace of sin remains, either from the previous or present life, since all his sins are burnt to ashes. Now again by Adi Shankaracharya. So see the benefits. It purifies you. It cleanses you of all your sins. Then it shoos away Yamaraj. So Yamaraj will not come near you. And you will move closer to the Supreme Lord. It helps you break away the birth and death cycle. Malina Mochanam, it cleanses our mind and senses. How? Of anger. We have these qualities, right? Anger, lust, greed, and envy, because of which you are forced to commit sins. So once you are cleansed of these negative qualities, then you are purified. So it is actually nectarian. Hearing, reading Gita is nectarian. There are two kinds of nectar, the Charanamrit and the Kathamrit. So Charanamrit is anything touching the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, like Ganges, River Ganga. And the Kathamrit is hearing about the pastimes, about Lord Krishna, about the Supreme Lord, as is told in Bhagavatam, or spoken by God himself, like in Gita. So Kathamrit can be in the form of Bhagavatam or can be the instructions which have been given by Lord Krishna himself in Bhagavad Gita. So any of them you do, it will begin the process of purification in you. So that's the importance, the relevance of Bhagavad Gita. Then the next question comes, from whom are we supposed to hear about it? Okay, we'll just cover this fast. You see, it's a life's user manual. So we are facing so many problems in our lives, right? How many of you are dealing with anger, confusion? There must be really many of you, right? So we are forgetful. We have a lot of fear in us. Many people will be facing loneliness. Your mind is not in your control. You're demotivated, right? Many of us in the present age are undergoing even depression. So dealing with envy, jealousy, and then when someone you lose in your life, that is the death of your loved ones, the near and dear ones, right? These are all things which make you suffer. So once you understand or you start reading Gita under a spiritual master or a bona fide parampara, you actually understand it in the right way, and it helps you to come out of these problems. It helps you to deal with these situations. It removes the confusion, gives you the strength and ability to withstand, to make the right choices in life, and to find a solution for these problems instead of running away. So in a way, in general, it reduces the suffering you will be facing in your life. See, none of us can run away from these problems, right? All of us in some or the other part of our life will be facing this. So Gita helps you bring a solution for all of these problems. So from whom should you learn? There are several commentaries. So many commentaries. Several people have explained or tried to explain Bhagavad Gita. Even people who have done doctorate or PhDs in Sanskrit language have commented on Gita. So we should be very clear from whom we are supposed to learn. So here it is said, any bona fide guru from a parampara is important. So one should follow the parampara system. Now the question may be why? So why parampara is most important? Why a bona fide guru is important? So let us understand this from the materialistic point of view. Everybody is using smartphones these days, right? I don't think there is anyone who doesn't have a smartphone. So many are using. And what is the use of a smartphone? There are several uses. For making phone calls, browsing the internet, to chit chat with people, or to connect to your near and dear ones who are far away, do a video call. There may be several purposes. So who designed this instrument to provide all these facilities? The manufacturer. And the manufacturer knows the best its purpose, isn't it? Otherwise, people can misuse. Who doesn't know the exact functioning of the smartphone, he might just use it for making calls like an ordinary telephone, or maybe he might use it as a paperweight as and when required, or just to click photographs, right? But the best use is when you follow the instructions given in the manual created by this manufacturer, then you can extract the maximum utility of this instrument. So similarly, Bhagavad Gita is the life manual, and one can make the best of your life by reading this manual. So to make the best, you should hear it, understand it through a person who knows the best about it. And who else can it be than Krishna himself or Arjuna? So parampara is very important, because the person who created is the best person who can tell you exactly what it is meant to be. Otherwise, we can concoct so many things. We will be misguided by our interpretations and our understandings. So basically, we have 4 paramparas. That means Supreme Lord spoke about this knowledge to 4 people directly. One is Brahma, Lakshmi Devi, the 4 Kumaras, and Lord Shiva. So any of these 4 paramparas is considered to be authentic. You can learn Bhagavad Gita from anyone who belongs to this parampara. So ours is Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Parampara. Means it begins from Brahma. Supreme Lord spoke to Lord Brahma, Lord Brahma to Narada, Narada to Vyasadev, and then you have several acharyas, the Madhvacharya, Narahari, Madhavacharya, Madhavendra Puri, Ishvara Puri, Rupa Goswami, and then our down the lane, Srila Prabhupada. So whose book, Bhagavad Gita, as it is, we are following and we are going to read in the next coming days. So this parampara is very important. Krishna himself says in chapter 4, the second shloka, he says, Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshyo viduhu sakale neha mahata yogo nashta parantapa. So this supreme science was thus received through the chain of disciplic succession, and the saintly kings understood it in that way. But in course of time, the succession was broken, and therefore the science as it appears, as it is, appears to be lost. So Krishna once again tells it to Arjuna. So he's reviving the same knowledge which was given before also. So that's why learn in the Guru Parampara. And how? By serving the Guru, by questioning him under the guidance of the Guru, who is a self-realized soul. So always one has to check authenticity, the source of knowledge. We should be very careful from where you are learning, what you are learning. So check the authenticity. If it belongs to the parampara, then well, we can adopt it. So the Vedas are called the mother because the mother is the right person who tells you about your father. So the Vedas, like a mother, tell the humankind about their original father, who is the Supreme Lord. And the spiritual master or the guru in the parampara is actually called the professor. And the parampara itself is the authorized college. And the Vedic literature are the authorized books. So always learn from the authority. Check from where you are learning. Then in what mode should you gain this knowledge? See, this knowledge is not any ordinary material knowledge. It has to do with the Supreme Lord. It has to do with the spirit soul in you. So in what mode you are supposed to learn it? In the mode of Arjuna, means of a devotee, with complete surrender, with Shraddha, with lot of faith. So Arjuna himself surrenders to the Lord in chapter 2. And in the same mode, if you all try to understand Gita, everybody will be benefited. So Bhagavad Gita was never meant for demonic persons. Actually, it is meant for the saintly kings. So many people hear about Gita. But if you do not hear it in the right mood, then there is no transformation. It's of no use. For example, Duryodhan. He was not saintly, and he doesn't get transformed in spite of getting several chances. He was exposed to the knowledge, right? But he did not heed to the lessons of Gita. So one should take Bhagavad Gita as it is. As it is means exactly the way it was conveyed by Lord Krishna to Arjuna. Neither add anything to it or delete anything from it. So for that, you need to accept Krishna as the Supreme Lord. So always try to understand Bhagavad Gita in association of a devotee under some realized soul. Otherwise, it will be just like, licking honey bottle from outside. I mean, you have a honey bottle right in front of you. So the Bhagavad Gita is in front of you. And without a proper guru, the guidance of a learned, realized soul, you will be just licking the bottle with the lid on it. So will you be able to taste the honey from it? No. So similarly, without a guided spiritual master, there is no use of reading Bhagavad Gita. You will not get the taste of it. You will not get the essence of it. So now let's come to what are covered in this topic. In Bhagavad Gita, there are mainly 5 topics which we will be covering the next few days. So the major topics are Ishvara, that is about God. So now we all have so many questions. No? Hindus specifically, they know there are so many gods. We are confused about religion. So many religions, so many gods. So Ishvara is a topic which will tell you about God. Does he exist or not? Who is God? Who God actually is. And the next topic is Jiva, that is the living entity, means you. So you will understand who you are, from where you come, what is your purpose in life, why you have to be born and why do you die. And then Prakriti means Mother Nature. So what is the role of Mother Nature? Kala, that is time. And Karma. Karma is the action, what you perform and what you reap out of it. No, many of us have this question, why bad things happen to us? We have not done anything wrong, but we are suffering. No, others are okay. Only I have to suffer. We have so many questions about this. So karma is a topic which will cover all these things. And finally, we'll come to the practical application of Bhagavad Gita. So unless you understand the knowledge of Gita and know how to practically apply it in your life, it's not going to be of much use. So we'll learn the practical application as well. Who all can understand Bhagavad Gita? What is the qualification? We might have these questions as well. Yes. So one who is inquisitive, who is in a mood of inquiry, is qualified to know, to read Bhagavad Gita. So you see, even Bhagavad Gita, if you see the first shloka begins with a question. Dhritarashtra puts a question. He wants to know, he's curious what is happening in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So curiosity is very important. Mood of inquiry is important. And then you should not read the scriptures independently. As I told before also, under guided supervision of a spiritual master, one should read these scriptures. We cannot understand it by our own endeavors. So even Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, no? So one who defies the Vedas, who says, I am only God, listen to me, is absolutely wrong. Whatever is told in the scriptures is supposed to be understood under guidance of a realized soul. So always go to one who has seen, who has understood the truth himself, and then follow. So why? Why should we not read independently? The book is easily available, right? As someone in the beginning said, hearing or learning through someone and reading on our own is different. Yes. So why is it so different? Because we have limited senses. We have limited understanding. Our knowledge is quite less. So with that limitation, if we try to read the scriptures, there is every possibility of misinterpreting it. We end up in faulty understanding of the scriptures. And that's the reason we should not do it on our own. We have a lot of imperfections. Each one of us, if you see, none of us are very pure. We have this cheating tendency. In childhood, how many of you have cooked up stories to avoid going to the school? Do you remember? If someday you don't want to go to school, what excuse do you give? You will fake some illness or you will fake some pain or fever or something, right? All of us might have done this in our childhood. Give some or other excuse so that we don't have to go to school. So this cheating tendency is there in every one of us. Therefore, there is every possibility of misunderstanding the teachings of Gita if we do it on our own. So understand it properly, utilize it, put it into practice, and reap its benefit. So I hope this is sufficient for all of you to remain with us for the next few days to understand it thoroughly and take benefit out of it.